Creatures of the night. It's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Fright Night, or is it Fright Night Dynamite? Whichever it is. We had a very interesting show. I wouldn't say that this was like the best episode of Dynamite or anything, but we had some really interesting developments here. Now, they do start off the show once again showing the chaos from last week Dynamite. And while they're showing that, then all of a sudden you hear Orange Cassidy on the mic talking about cut this shit off. I got something to say. He gets in the ring and he goes on to say, look, I'm not no leader or anything, but after what I seen BCC do to my best friend, Chuck Taylor, he had no choice but to step up. He looked around and he said, you know what? All these other cats up in here are really, really young. They really want some action to be happening here in AEW in terms of BCC, and he has to be the one to step up since everyone's looking at him. So not only has he stepped up to be this leader, but he also challenges Jon Moxley for the world title as well. And I'm just like, holy shit, what the hell? Now he goes and says that that AEW needs Orange Cassidy, and they wouldn't be in AEW without Orange Cassidy. I guess, whatever. Honestly, it was interesting. To be honest, I'm not a fan of Orange Cassidy. I do think he's really talented. However, the gimmick is just, I'm over it. One thing I think you should take into account is that Orange Cassidy is wearing darker denim colors, not that light blue jean colors that he normally wears. He's wearing darker denim, and not just the darker denim, but his white shirt that he always has that ugly picture of himself on it, that's also black as well. So that's a lot to take into account, and we'll see what ends up happening with that. And to be honest, in terms of him being champion, I'm not convinced. After this, we finally get the chance to see Adam Cole, who they said has not been in action for 423 days, I believe. Now, he is wearing his Undisputed Kingdom ring gear, which I appreciated. Buddy Matthews looking like a snack. Lord have mercy, Buddy Matthews. Oh my God. Very interesting. So I'm going to say this. I did not particularly enjoy this match. I really felt like Buddy was dominating here, and it made sense. Buddy is bigger. And he was the one to go on to say that Adam Cole is fragile as fuck. And I have to be honest, put all biasness aside, because honestly, I'm not a fan of Adam. Adam didn't look great here in terms of his physique. I know he's small or whatever, but we're not even talking about that. Why did he look so yellow? He looked very jaundiced, and I was just like, is he okay? Why does he look so yellow? Something about it made me wonder if he was okay or not. And the match was just okay. And it was like, oh, I'm not going to call my friends and say, hey, turn on AEW, Adam Cole and Buddy Matthews tearing it up. It wasn't one of those situations. It was one of those things where at some point he was playing off heavily onto that low fragile ankle, and Buddy Matthews was just really, really getting it at that ankle. And it got to the point that the doctors came and checked on him. They was literally leaving. The referee was counting to 10 and then stopped counting, and Buddy Matthews was talking shit about him on the mic. So then here comes Adam Cole, just like, you know what, I'm not no bitch ass punk, let me go back in that ring and continue the match. And I was like, oh, very interesting. He gets in there, continues the match, and ends up taking the win. And I don't know, I'm not necessarily, I just wasn't thrilled with this. Now, he ends up winning, and he gets on the mic and says positive things about Buddy or whatever, and that Buddy made him realize who the real Adam Cole is. That's great that you realize who the real Adam Cole is, because I saw the real Adam Cole, and it wasn't that great. Now, he goes on to shake Buddy's hand. Buddy goes on to shake his hand after thinking about it, and then the lights cut off while they were shaking hands. Then the light come back on, and Buddy is against the ropes, and you see it's Adam Cole shaking the hands of Malachi Black, and Malachi Black was looking good, real good. And to be honest, I was excited to see Malachi. Then I remembered that Adam Cole has to go against 3 wrestlers. Whoever wins more matches between himself and Roderick Strong gets to go against MJF at Full Gear. And I'm just wondering, are the House of Black going to be jobbing to Adam Cole? Tony Khan, you better not do what I think you're going to do. After this, we do have Adam Cole, who's back there with the entire kingdom. I can't believe my boys are baby faces. What is happening to this world? He's saying basically talking to MJF, who's not there. Oh no, well, we did see MJF watching that match. So they showed like via satellite MJF sitting down in front of the TV, all suited up, looking GQ, watching that match. And after, that's when Adam Cole started talking about MJF, blaming him for his injury and how he should have known that he was going to betray him and all this shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? You're acting like you weren't the heel in that situation. I don't know what's going on. Something about this story I'm not into 100%. And he goes on to say that how he's going to beat MJF when he get his hands on him for Full Gear, as if Roderick Strong is not standing behind you, also wanting to go against MJF for Full Gear. Whatever. After this, Uncle Don comes out with Kyle Fletcher. That haircut, baby, it's not working. It's not working. You don't have to grow that shit back out. Now, he is antagonizing the audience, making them think that Will Ospreay is going to come out, and he actually doesn't come out. But then we hear music play again, and it's not William Ospreay's music, it's Ozzy Open's music. So then Mark Davis came out, and let me just tell you, I was marking out when I heard the music. I was like, oh, Mark Davis come out. But then that smile quickly just went away, because I'm just like, Mark Davis, you look like you've been sitting on the couch your entire injury, and you literally just got off the motherfucking couch right now. Mark Davis did not look good. I don't know what that was about, if that's part of what they were trying to do, but he didn't look good at all. They get into a little bit of an argument, and Kyle just like, just join the Don Callis family. That's exactly where you belong. And that, since Mark was injured, he was able to find himself by joining forces with Uncle Don. And honestly, I think I would too. Now, Mark Davis doesn't seem to be pleased with all this shenanigans that's been going on, especially with Kyle and William. And he does not want to join he doesn't want to join Don Callis' family. But then Fletcher reminds him that, what, at some point, bitch, you're going to have to make a decision, and we'll see what's going to end up happening with that. Personally, I would like to see Mark Davis join the Don Callis family. I'm not sure if that's where they're going, since William is over there. We'll see. After this, we got Renee Paquette back there acting like her husband ain't tearing up the place. And she's interviewing Hangman Adam Page. To be honest, the Jay White Hangman thing, it's not going how I want it to go. Hangman is over here talking about, how there's no such thing as redemption. There's only wins and losses and consequences and all that stuff. Whatever. I'm bored. Now, after this, though, we do have the whole BCC coming into the building. And they're getting inside the building, and they're just walking straight out there. Now, when we come back from commercial, they go straight out through the audience, and then they go into the ring. Moxley gets on the mic, and he said, oh, bitch, Orange Cassidy, how dare you come out here and challenge me? I'm supposed to be challenging you. He said, you know what, bitch? I challenged you last week on Dynamite when I beat up your fragile friend, Chuck Taylor, who was just dead weight anyway. And basically, he did it for a response from Orange Cassidy to see what it was that he was going to do, since everybody's pointing fingers at Orange to be the leader of Team AEW. Now, he goes on to say, oh, well, I want to see if there's anything that you're willing to do for AEW. And then all of a sudden, they all just standing in the ring, and then they literally drop our boy Wheeler Yuta to his motherfucking knees, and to attack him, they put a fucking a chair on his neck, just like they was doing to Chuck Taylor the other day. And I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't even believe it. Wheeler Yuta just standing there like, you know what, they're just gonna be treating him however the fuck they want to. So this is really interesting. And with that being said, Orange Cassidy back there didn't want to see his ex-best friend, Wheeler Yuta, get his ass whooped by BCC. So he goes out there to help Wheeler Yuta. And then they got what they wanted, which was Orange Cassidy bitch ass coming out there being Captain Saberho. So they end up throwing Wheeler Yuta to the side to really get their hands on who they wanted, which was Orange Cassidy. Now, they're beating up on Orange Cassidy, and then Wheeler Yuta gets to his senses, I guess, and decides I should probably beat up on Orange Cassidy too, and rightfully so. They start stumping his ass out, and I wish I could have just joined and started stumping on Orange Cassidy too, but apparently I'm at home. So then, here comes Dark Order coming out there, Evil Uno and them. Alex Reynolds is wrapped up like a mummy, and it's crazy because they fucked him up these past few weeks, and he's not out here with his Halloween costume as the mummy. This is literally him being wrapped up from getting his ass whooped. Now, with that being said, shenanigans start happening and everybody's fighting. Some of the baby faces are coming from the back, fighting them, came out there and they're fighting. And I'm just like, there is so many baby faces coming out. But then we have, there's like not enough people in Team BCC. So that's when, out of the blue, while Claudio was just standing there looking fine as hell, then we see something pink coming down from the rafters, and it's Darby Allin. Darby Allin is coming down from the rafters. The way it happened, it's like awkward, but people were marking out about it anyway, and we knew Darby Allin was going to be in this anyway. And then he ends up coming out there. He's fighting with Claudio. Claudio gently just puts him onto the announce table, and the announce table just broke into 50 million pieces. And I'm just like, what the fuck is holding these tables together? These tables, I don't know what it is. As soon as you touch them, they're fucking breaking. Now, all these people are fighting, and they end up taking it to the back, to the crowds, and it's going crazy. And then all of a sudden you hear the Young Bucks music play, and it's Private Party. They're in the ring with a couple of other people, and then I'm just like, wait a minute, what's happening here? They gonna do something about all this chaos? No, they was waiting for the ring to start clearing up. Since Private Party already over there, they might as well get their hands on them and put these titles on the line. So now that everyone is taking the fight into the audience and pretty much clearing the ring, so Private Party just waits for the Young Bucks to make their way out to the ring. Now, here we have the AEW Tag Team Championships on the line, and I'm just saying, look, you know what? I'm not going to put my panties in a bunch. I already know Private Party going to take the win. This match, I would say, I don't want to take anything away from anybody in the ring because, you know, everybody's talented or whatever. I felt like there was just too much shenanigans in terms of them wanting to keep you at the edge of your seat, and just plain old shenanigans and foolishness is playing throughout the match. Young Bucks cheating and all these things. And they really make it seem like there's just almost no way Private Party's going to take the win. Too many hitting finishers and everything. And I was just like, y'all really want us to be sitting here clutching on our pearls? And honestly, I thought it was overly done with them trying to keep things very, cinematic for everyone to feel like we're watching a movie and we want the good guys to take the win. Honestly, I just thought it was a little bit too much. Now, there was a part of the match where they dragged Mark Quinn all the way to the beginning, to the where the stage is, and then here comes Okada, who comes out in some green ugly suit, and then he ends up giving Mark Quinn a tombstone pile driver. It was the nicest tombstone pile driver I've ever seen in my life. Like, he did it so nicely where it's just like, hey buddy, I'm gonna get you with a pile driver. I'm gonna make sure you're gonna be okay. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm not trying to say be reckless or anything, but it was done so nicely that I was just like, he should be getting up immediately. You know what I mean? Now, match continues, and it was pretty much the Young Bucks versus Brother Zay. And it didn't seem like there was much of a chance for him. And then, honestly, I was kind of just like, all right, let's wrap this up. Private Party's winning. We already know. Over and over again, finisher after finisher after finisher, he's breaking out of everything. And then, I forgot which Jackson brother, but one of them ended up hitting Brother Zay with a one-winged angel. And I was just like, ow, how dare you use the Cleaners finisher. Now, referee goes to count 1, 2, and right before 3, just really close, here comes Mark Quinn that just came from the dead to break the pin. And then at that moment, I was just like, they're gonna win. They're gonna win for sure. And then they actually end up taking the win. And honestly, I did enjoy this in terms of seeing them winning. I didn't care too much for the match because I feel like there was just too much going on. But at the end of the day, the right choice was made. The Young Bucks, they're talented. That's as nice as I'm going to get when it comes to the Young Bucks. But I don't think that they added any value to the title since they've had it. But I will say this. With a series of matches that they've been having with Private Party, it's actually helped elevated Private Party in terms of them looking better these past few weeks as a team in front of the crowd, so that when they actually end up taking the win tonight, that people felt better. But I would say, honestly, they were in Cleveland, Ohio. In Cleveland, Ohio, they was happy about it, but not as happy as if it would have been somewhere else. Private Party ends up taking the win, new champs, and I couldn't be happier. I had Chris Jericho, who had something to say with the whole learning tree, and I literally got off my seat for that because I No, not me. Chris Jericho, no. So we also had the Young Bucks. They're back there in their dressing room, and Jackson Perry was about to go in there, and that's when Daniel Garcia snatched his ass up, and they got into it, and then Jackson Perry, I thought Jackson Perry said, you used to dance for me too. I was like, wait a minute, Daniel Garcia used to dance for you? What the fuck is happening here? They got so close to each other. It almost felt like a sexual tension going on. And I'm just like, oh my God, can I just be in between you guys? Now, he ended up saying they used to dance for me. That's what Jackson Perry was saying in terms of the audience, that they used to, do things like that for me when I was a good guy. But obviously he got to his senses and now he's a heel. Now, then Jackson Perry ends up going to the locker room where he see the Young Bucks. They had two big ass suitcases, and all they have, literally all they have, is sneakers. They have nothing else. They don't have a t-shirt. They don't have a sock. They don't have nothing else but a whole bunch of sneakers they put into the suitcase, and then they end up getting ready to leave. Now, when they're getting ready to leave, what was interesting was they're leaving. Christopher Daniels goes to chase them, and he's just like, y'all can't leave us. You the EVP. Y'all supposed to be, getting some order up in here. And the EVP says, like, look, we gotta go. We out of here. And when they end up leaving, then we end up seeing BCC and coming behind, what's his name? Christopher Daniels. And also, damn, there was someone else that was there. Who else was there? So it was Brandon Cutler. Brandon Cutler was trying to run after the truck when the Young Bucks left. He actually had a box, and in that box was another 50,000 pairs of sneakers. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? Weird. Now, BCC ended up pulling up right behind Christopher Daniels and Brandon Cutler. They hold Christopher Daniels while they attack Brandon Cutler, and they take a hammer and they smash his hand with it. Who the fuck cares? This is Brandon Cutler. We don't fucking care about Brandon Cutler. They could have used someone else to gain some, some points in terms of them being massive heels. But Brandon Cutler, baby, I would smash his hands too. They could have used someone else. After this, we do have Camille versus Chris Statlander. Statlander ends up taking the win, like we all knew. Obviously, CEO was really angry about this, so she ends up telling Camille to get the fuck out of the ring. She's gonna take care of shit herself. So she ends up attacking Chris Statlander, and she said something about, oh, when you gotta get shit done, you gotta do it yourself or whatever. Are things done with CEO and Camille? I don't think that's the case, but I do think it's definitely is the beginning of us getting exchanges between CEO and Chris Statlander, and I'm actually looking forward to that. Now, after this, we do have Christian Cage with the Patriarchy, and when I say Patriarchy, Kip Sapien is part of the group now, and that's really, really interesting to see where that's gonna go. He said he got some things to explain about the whole Hook allegations and everything, and he's gonna do that next week on Dynamite. After this, we do have the conglomeration. It's Ishii, Pastor Briscoe, and Kyle O'Reilly. They're upset about Pastor Briscoe losing the title, and something about a fight without honor match for next week. I don't know what that's about, but I don't want to see no more rematches. If Pastor Briscoe somehow is not going to take that title off of Chris Jericho, I'm over it. Now, after this, we do have our main event. We have Shane Swerve Strickland versus Shelton Benjamin. And oh my God, I'm just like, oh my God, look at all these beautiful chocolate men. Oh Lord. So good. So good. I enjoyed their match. I thought they had great chemistry. This was, for both of them, I would say each of them had points of dominating the match where I didn't feel like neither of them dominated more than the other, if that makes sense. Prince Nana is ringside with an ugly ass suit jacket. MVP is giving us the suits, and at times you would see them literally face to face, like face in front of each other, and they're arguing with each other and whatnot. It was very interesting. Prince Nana just seemed to be all around the ring, just trying to make some noise for Swerve. Now, for me, my whole time I was thinking, all right, it's like 10 minutes before the show was over, and y'all finally getting this match going. There's going to be shenanigans. Tony Khan paid the overtime money. We're going to go into overtime. Now, we do go into overtime. Match continues. And I kept thinking, all right, just look out for anybody getting involved. But that doesn't happen. Swerve actually ends up taking the win via Swerve Stomp, which I found to be surprising. I thought that this would end up in a draw or whatnot, where somebody's going to end up getting involved or something, where the two of them will end up getting back in the ring at some point again. Now, Swerve ends up taking the win, but then there's shenanigans. The light actually cut off for a split second, then the lights turn back on, and then it goes darker, and then all of a sudden you hear this really regal type of music or whatever, and it's just so obvious with the music that is Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley comes out in the ugliest fucking suit I've ever seen in my life. It was a burgundy maroon color. The jacket was that color. The tie, the shirt, the socks, the shoes, the belt, everything. Even the glasses had like that shade of burgundy. Everything was the same color. And I was just like, oh my God. It was like a leather type situation. It's ugly. It's motherfucking ugly. And I never want to see it again. Ever again. He comes out there. And it's kind of tight too. So like when he gets in the ring and he goes to put his hands on Swerve, it's a little difficult. So he ends up taking off that jacket because it's like, you can't move in that suit. You can't motherfucking move. So he doesn't do too much, but we get the point in terms of what's happening here. Prince Nana also gets attacked as well. And at the end of the show, we do have the Hurt Syndicate standing tall. I love the ending. We saw this happening a mile away. People was calling this months ago, and it's actually happened. And it's great because we're seeing a lot of really great factions, and I really want to see Tony Khan prioritize these factions as a group and also as individuals as well. It's really, really great to see all these groups getting together in AEW. I'm interested to see what happens with the Hurt Syndicate. Y'all already know it wasn't all that in terms of their time as a Hurt Business and WWE. So we'll see if Tony Khan will do it justice over in All Elite Wrestling. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. The show was alright. The clips are already on YouTube if you want to see how things played out. And congratulations to Private Party for finally winning them tag titles. I really hope this is a shake up for tag team wrestling in AEW. You guys already know WWE also had new tag team champions. TNA has new tag team champions as well. So we need to see a shake up within the tag team world in pro wrestling. And I'm happy to see where that's going to go. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow on my review for Ring of Honor. See you guys then.